Did you know that most age-related vision decline does not happen all at once? It creeps in, quietly, a little more glare, while driving at night, small print that feels harder to focus on, colors that do not look quite as vivid as they once did. Most people shrug and call it just getting older. But here is what rarely gets talked about. Your retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in your entire body. Every single day, it is exposed to light and oxygen. That means constant oxidative stress. Over time, the strain builds, circulation begins to slow, protective pigments start to thin out, low-grade inflammation gradually rises without you ever feeling it, and that is when changes start to show up. Now here is the encouraging part. No fruit can cure eye disease, and no fruit replaces proper medical care. But strong research shows certain nutrients can help support retinal cells, protect the macula, and improve blood flow inside the eye. And many of those nutrients are hiding in plain sight in everyday fruits. In this video, we are counting down 7 fruits packed with compounds studied for vision support, anthocyanins that enhance retinal blood flow, zeaxanthin that strengthens macular defense, vitamin C, and carotenoids that help guard against oxidative damage. Some of these fruits are probably sitting in your kitchen right now. A few may surprise you if you care about protecting your eyesight over the next 10, 20, even 30 years. Stay with me, because by the end, you will know exactly which fruits offer the strongest nutritional support for long-term eye health and how to use them consistently. Before we start, tell me your age and where you are watching from, and have you noticed any changes in your vision lately? Number 1. Blackcurrant. These dark purple berries do not get as much attention as blueberries. But when it comes to retinal blood flow and visual fatigue, blackcurrants have some of the strongest research behind them. Their deep color comes from anthocyanins. These are powerful flavonoid compounds that support vascular health and help protect cells from oxidative stress. And in the eye, circulation is everything. Your retina has one of the highest oxygen demands of any tissue in the body. Photoreceptors constantly convert light into electrical signals. That process requires steady blood flow through a dense network of tiny capillaries. When circulation becomes less efficient, even slightly, visual performance can suffer. Anthocyanins in blackcurrant have been shown to help improve blood flow in the microvasculature, including the vessels that supply the eye. In controlled human studies, blackcurrant extract supplementation improved ocular blood flow and reduced symptoms of eye fatigue, especially in people exposed to prolonged screen time. One randomized trial found that participants who consumed blackcurrant anthocyanins experienced measurable improvements in dark adaptation. That is your ability to adjust from bright environments to low light. This function typically declines with age because retinal cells become slower to regenerate visual pigments. After light exposure, there's more. Blackcurrant anthocyanins appear to help reduce oxidative stress markers and support nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide helps relax blood vessels and improves circulation. Better vascular flexibility means more consistent delivery of oxygen and nutrients to retinal tissue. Some research also suggests these compounds may help reduce intraocular pressure slightly in certain individuals, which may matter for long-term optic nerve health. Here is a real-life example. Linda, 52, works in accounting and spends most of her day in front of 2 monitors. By late afternoon, her eyes felt heavy and strained. She also noticed it took longer to adjust when walking from her bright office into a dim parking garage. She started adding a small handful of frozen blackcurrants to her morning smoothie 5 days a week. After about a month, She reported less end-of-day eye fatigue and smoother adjustment to low light conditions. It was not dramatic overnight, but it was steady and noticeable. So how do you use blackcurrant? Fresh blackcurrants can be tart. So many people prefer them frozen, blended into smoothies, or mixed into yogurt. Unsweetened blackcurrant juice is another option. If using juice, look for versions without added sugar. A small daily serving is enough. Consistency matters more than quantity. Number 2. Goji berries. These small, bright red berries have been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but modern research is starting to explain why they have long been associated with eye health. Here is what many people do not realize. The central part of your retina, called the macula, depends heavily on two protective pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds act like internal sunglasses. They filter harmful blue light and help neutralize oxidative stress before it damages delicate retinal cells. As we age, macular pigment density tends to decline, and when that protective layer becomes thinner, light-induced damage builds more easily. Over time, this can contribute to reduced contrast sensitivity, slower visual processing, and increased risk for age-related macular degeneration. Goji berries are one of the richest natural food sources of zeaxanthin, especially in a highly absorbable form called zeaxanthin dipalmitate. And that matters because absorption determines whether a nutrient actually reaches your retina. In a randomized controlled trial, healthy middle-aged adults consumed 28 grams of goji berries 5 times per week for 90 days. They showed a significant increase in macular pigment density. In simple terms, their natural retinal protection improved. Another study found regular goji berry intake helped reduce the buildup of certain harmful proteins associated with retinal aging. Researchers also observed improvements in overall antioxidant capacity, suggesting broader protection that may benefit eye tissue. There's more. Zeaxanthin plays a direct role in protecting photoreceptors from light-induced oxidative damage. These are the cells that convert light into signals your brain understands as vision. When photoreceptors are stressed repeatedly, their function gradually declines. Supporting them nutritionally may help preserve clarity and contrast over time. Here is a real-life example. Robert, 68, began eating a small handful of dried goji berries most afternoons after his optometrist mentioned early signs of macular thinning. He had noticed road signs did not look as crisp at dusk, and glare from headlights bothered him more than before. After about 3 months of consistent intake, he reported clearer contrast in low light settings and less strain. When reading in the evening, his follow-up scan showed a modest improvement in macular pigment density. It was not a cure, but it was progress. So how do you use goji berries? You can eat them dried, usually about a small handful per day. They are slightly chewy and mildly sweet. Add them to oatmeal, mix them into yogurt, or sprinkle them into salads. Some people steep them in warm water and drink them as tea. Number 3. Kiwi. Most people think of kiwi as just a vitamin C fruit. And yes, it is rich in vitamin C. But when it comes to eye health, that is exactly why it matters more than people realize. Your eyes are constantly exposed to oxygen and light. That combination produces reactive oxygen species, unstable molecules that can damage lens proteins and retinal cells. Over time, the lens of the eye, in particular, is vulnerable to oxidative stress. When damage accumulates, proteins can clump together, contributing to clouding and cataract formation. Vitamin C is one of the primary antioxidants found in the fluid inside the eye. especially in the aqueous humor. Its role is simple, but critical. It neutralizes free radicals before they damage sensitive structures. Kiwi provides a high concentration of vitamin C in a relatively small serving. In fact, one medium kiwi can deliver more vitamin C than an orange. That makes it an efficient way to maintain steady antioxidant levels. But that is not all. Kiwi also contains lutein and small amounts of zeaxanthin, the same carotenoids, concentrated in the macula. While not as high as goji berries, the combination of vitamin C plus carotenoids creates a layered protective effect. One compound supports antioxidant defense broadly. The others specifically strengthen macular pigment. Observational studies have shown that higher dietary vitamin C intake is associated with a lower risk of cataract progression. In long-term population studies, individuals with the highest vitamin C intake had significantly reduced rates of lens opacity compared to those with lower intake. There is also evidence that vitamin C helps support collagen production in blood vessel walls. That matters because the retina relies on a dense network of tiny capillaries. Strong vascular integrity supports consistent delivery of oxygen and nutrients. Here is a real-life example. Maria, 61, started adding 2 kiwis to her breakfast after her ophthalmologist mentioned early lens changes. During a routine exam, she did not have significant vision loss, but she noticed more glare in bright sunlight and slightly duller color contrast. When reading, after several months of consistent intake, she felt her eyes were less irritated in dry, windy conditions, and glare felt less harsh during midday walks. At her next checkup, her lens changes had not progressed. While diet is not the only factor, maintaining steady antioxidant intake likely supported that stability. So how do you use kiwi? Eat it fresh. 1 to 2 per day is reasonable. For most people, you can slice it into yogurt, blend it into smoothies, or eat it with a spoon, straight from the peel. The skin is technically edible if washed thoroughly, and it contains additional fiber. That does not mean one serving of fruit before bed will magically fix your vision, but it does mean consistent evening intake can support the natural restoration process that already happens while you sleep. If you want a simple routine, here is one: a small bowl of black currants, or 1 kiwi after dinner, a small handful of goji berries. As an evening snack, nothing heavy, nothing sugary in excess, just nutrient-dense fruit that delivers compounds your retina actually uses. And remember this: no fruit replaces regular eye exams. No fruit cures macular degeneration. No fruit cures glaucoma. But long-term dietary patterns absolutely influence how resilient your retinal tissue remains with age. Vision loss is usually gradual. Protection is gradual too. If this video helped you, tell me your age in the comments and which fruit you are most likely to try at night. And if you want more science-based guidance for protecting your health after 50, subscribe and stay with us. Your eyes are working for you every single day.